Greetings, one and all. I'm Kerrik52, and the climb continues. Pictimos wasn't really much of anything, but more challenges await. So let's get up to the 10th floor and go past the silver shield chest. That's where progress lies. So there is a lot of walking around here, but it is a nice excuse to reflect and, you know, take in the sights a little bit. I do really like this place. And Falcom does too, which is why this entire tower is the setting of Ys Origin, which is a very special little game, since it's the only one in the series that doesn't star Adol, as it's a prequel that plays around with a lot of things to great effect. I look forward to playing it for the channel down the line. How are you doing, Luta? That looks super bad, actually. I don't think that's how that works. Excuse me? Okay. Not the first time we rescue the girl. We can do it again. I mean, what's a big evil dungeon without girls to rescue, I guess. So how do I get... No, that's not the way to the 11th floor. Enemies still aren't much of a problem. This is, though... Holy shit. Hey, Rado. Great to see you. Okay. Do have a hammer. Let's go back outside. How's that for opposition, huh? Stats don't really matter when the very geometry tries to murder you. Thankfully, the way to go isn't that difficult. In fact, not you, not you. Done. I think the wind here is supposed to be your glue, but there's only so many pillars to bash. I think the bigger issue is just getting lost between the floors, since they have multiple exits sometimes. But I came prepared. That is one of the puzzles that, well, yeah, they do recycle it for Origin. Origin is weird, because it is essentially a remake of the last half of Ys 1. Nothing more, nothing less, but it's still a very valid prequel that does a lot of stuff right. Very unique project. Also a decent entry point, though it does spoil a couple of things here. But hey, if you watch the entirety of this Let's Play, you could jump straight into Origin, no problem. 12th floor. Nothing interesting in here, I don't think. As in, literally nothing. actual padding in a game this lean. You hate to see it. This, on the other hand, is a more interesting padding. You're welcome. Okay. Damn it! I know I should have been kicking those puppies. Okay, we'll hurry on. I'll make sure to get a save while we're here. So, floor 14 should be a boss fight in here. An incredibly pathetic one at that. Yeah, if you thought Pygdemos was silly, look at this stuff. Say hello to Khonsclard. Say goodbye to Khonsclard. Now, in its defense, that's probably terrible if you're playing on Nightmare, but why would you play on Nightmare, in Ys 1 specifically? I can kinda understand it in Ys 2, but we'll get there when we get there. Here's the rod that Doggy was talking about, and it does look like Sarah's crystal. I know this wasn't really the case, but it does feel like the game is just running out of money and throwing books at us. Let's talk to, oh. So I think you can see, yeah, those lights there, that's Barbado Port, I think. I think we can get a better view later on. That wasn't very helpful. But now, I can activate this and engage in everybody's favorite thing. A teleportation maze. Can't say I'm ever a fan of them, but here it's pretty simple. So, we want to go as far down as possible, and then just keep going down. Follow here. Ta-da! Silver armor! Again! Now for the actual maze. So we go like so. Then we go in here. Take to the right. And then same one again. And we're out. Easy peasy. And our reward? This kick-ass song. Oh, it's so good! Yeah, this is what makes you want to run through the entire tower in one sitting if you're able. So we're on the 15th floor. Should be a little treat here somewhere. That leads outside, that's for later. I'm happy to run around lost here a little bit. Could you imagine if Final Fantasy had this kind of music going in? The entire timeline would change. And here is our ultimate shield. Very effective, as you can see. Once you have all of the armor up or all of the defense upgrades, you can basically just run over everything left in the game, save for the bosses. It's a good feeling. The later games basically get to that point as well, but they are also much longer, so it takes a while for you to become so overpowered. And the level design isn't as restrictive, so you can usually just run past enemies even easier. So I don't think they ever go into the Twin Moons much in the series. I don't think they have any particular significance except for it being just a great, if somewhat common visual. These things, the Molfas, they're just a pale shadow of their TurboGrafx version, as I'll show later. They're just so nothing, whereas on TurboGrafx, they are the fastest enemy in the game, I believe. Now we're talking. Hello? Right, time to be evil. So, protection. Evil ring. And then evil thoughts. Punching rabbits. Worked. Oh, come on. Rhea? Yeah, you're pretty hard to forget. Dark fact. And yes, his name is Dark. If you play Origin, there are other facts with much more normal names. Yeah, and he's the Caped Man. So he's the one who's been going around stealing the silver, he's been commanding the monsters, he's the man we need to take down. Sure do. Would a sword to the face suffice? Ooh. Can do. I don't think adult Kristen knows the meaning of the word fear. This is an important hint. Because unless you swap back to the silver equipment, you will not win. But the late game stuff is good up until that point. Anyway, let's read some Books of Ease. And then call it an episode. The Book of Mesa. We have finally found ourselves cornered in the Temple of Solomon. The 6 great demons dog our every step and will be upon us soon. We have decided to leave this land for now and hope that we may one day return. Take heed, O divided peoples, for grievous times loom upon all paths of the future. But do not lose hope, for time has decreed that a guide shall come. O peoples, still your laments. Okay, that didn't give us that much. What about this? The Book of Gemma, hey! He came, bringing his demon hordes with him, and amidst our darkest terrors, the goddesses disappeared. They have not been seen hence. Have we been forsaken? We of the line of Gemma know an ancient story. It speaks of an amulet made of translucent blue crystal. This amulet, the story says, has the power to destroy the demon's dreaded curses. Take note, however, of the weight that time has brought upon this tale. Proceed with wisdom, for there is danger. And with that information in mind, now comes the worst part of Darm Tower, where you have to backtrack all the way back to the 11th floor to speak to Gemma and get that amulet. But I'll be nice and save you the trouble, so I'll meet you there. Until then, farewell.